Listen carefully because what I'm about to tell you is extremely important. It's no accident that you're here right now. Something significant is about to happen, something that could change the life of someone you love deeply, perhaps a child or someone very close to you. What is coming has the power to shake your faith, your plans, and the peace of your home. But before fear overwhelms you, hear this. It's not meant to destroy you but to warn you. Decisions are being made on an invisible level, and if you don't pay attention, if you don't look in the right direction, the effects could be greater than you think. But this can be avoided. It all depends on how you choose to act now. Don't let fear guide your decisions. Respond with faith, wisdom, and prayer. It is in the most intense struggles that the divine presence is most powerfully revealed. Remember what is written. Unless the Lord guards the city, the watchman watches in vain. Give to God what seems impossible. Cry out to Him for help with the confidence of one who knows he is not alone. You may be wondering what to do right now. The answer is simple but profound. Pray, watch, and care for those in your care. The enemy wants to attack what is most precious, but God calls you to protect with love and faith all that He has placed in your care. The next few days will be crucial. Pay attention to the signs, the conversations, and the people around you. There is something only you can do. Take a firm stand with prayer and total surrender. It is in the sincerity of prayer that the invisible battles begin to be won. Even if you don't understand what is happening, trust. No storm lasts forever, and God has the power to turn destruction into deliverance, pain into growth, chaos into victory. You may feel like you are facing this alone, but God reminds you, "Fear not, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, help you, and uphold you with my faithful right hand." This is the time to affirm your trust. Declare it with faith. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." In doing so, you open the door for God's supernatural power to work in your life. What looks like a storm is actually an opportunity for renewal. God is molding you, strengthening your faith, preparing you for something greater. He not only protects but transforms everything that seemed hopeless into something glorious. Allow yourself to trust fully, even when you don't understand the way. God didn't bring you here to abandon you. He has plans of peace for you, for your family, for a future of hope. Right now, remember that your faith is a powerful shield. It's not the size of the challenge that matters, but the certainty that God is greater than any difficulty. Write this truth on your heart. Nothing is impossible for God. Surrender everything to Him and trust that even without seeing it, He is already at work in every detail. Victory has already been prepared, and what seemed impossible will be transformed. Persevere in prayer and remember, God never fails. He is at your side, guiding your every step, sustaining you in the most difficult times, and preparing a future that is better than you can imagine. There are times when everything seems uncertain, as if the ground beneath your feet is crumbling. But know this, nothing that happens in your life escapes the eyes of God. Every challenge, every tear, every silent prayer is seen and heard by Him. Even when you feel the world is silent, He is working behind the scenes, preparing something greater than you can imagine. What lies ahead may seem like a test of your faith. You may face doubt, fear, or even the weight of difficult decisions. But God doesn't allow challenges without purpose. The fire you are going through is not to destroy you, but to refine you, to strengthen you, to bring out something in you that you may not have even known existed. Remember, gold is only pure when it is tasted under intense heat. And so it is with your faith, it is being polished into something great. Over the next few days, keep your heart in constant prayer. It's not just a matter of repeating words, but of opening your soul to God, giving Him your fears, your doubts, your limitations. He doesn't expect perfection but sincerity. And it is in this sincere surrender that He acts. Speak to Him as a child speaks to a loving father, knowing that He is listening and caring for every detail. Protect what you love. There are things that God has entrusted to you, your family, your dreams, your responsibilities. These are areas that can be attacked because the enemy knows where it's easiest to hit you. But God is more powerful than any opposing force. Look wisely, be attentive to the needs of those around you. Sometimes a word of comfort, a gesture of love, or even your silent presence can make all the difference to someone who is about to give up. Don't underestimate the power of caring that God has placed in your hands. And when you feel like you can't do it, remember that you don't have to do it alone. Isaiah 41 verse 10 reminds us, "Fear not, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, help you, and uphold you with my steadfast right hand." Trust in this promise. It is not just a word but a living truth to sustain you. This is the time to strengthen your family bonds. Gather those you love, pray with them, show that you are united not only by blood ties but by God's grace. Unity will be your greatest weapon against any storm. And even if circumstances try to convince you otherwise, believe. God is already at work. Victory is not only possible but certain for those who trust in Him. Maybe you're thinking, but why is all this happening? God has a plan. He sees what you can't see, He knows the ways you can't even imagine. Sometimes you have to walk through the darkness to see the light more clearly. What seems like the end can actually be a new beginning, a fresh start full of purpose and fulfilled promises. Statements of faith have power. When you say, "I trust in the Lord," something invisible moves. The words that come from your heart open doors, break down barriers, and allow the divine presence to take the place of doubt and fear. So boldly declare, "I trust in the Lord and I place my family in His hands." Write it on your soul, repeat it with faith, and allow God to transform your story. The next few days may bring challenges, but they will also bring clear signs that God is on your side. It may be a word, a conversation, or even a feeling of peace that enters your heart without explanation. When these moments come, know that it is God's confirmation. "I am with you. Something special is in store for you." This is not the end. It's the beginning of a chapter of blessing and growth and fulfillment. God is molding you for something beyond what you can ask or imagine. And when you look back, you'll see that every tear, every struggle, and every prayer was worth it. He is leading you to a future of peace, prosperity, and hope. Declare it now. "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom shall I fear?" By saying this, you are inviting God's supernatural power to work on your journey. Trust, watch, and pray. For what God has prepared for you and your family cannot be stopped. Even in the most difficult battles, He has already decreed victory. Don't stop now, for what lies ahead is greater than you can imagine. You have been called to something special, to experience a transformation that will shape not only your life, but also the destiny of your family. You may not see the purpose of it all clearly yet, but know this: God never acts without a plan. He does not waste a tear, a prayer, or a moment of pain. Every detail is used to shape something extraordinary in you. When you feel tired, when you feel like your strength is running out, hear this: God is your strength. He renews you, sustains you, and carries you when you can no longer walk. He is the God who opens paths in the desert and makes rivers flow in dry places. No matter how difficult the journey, He promises to be with you every step of the way, guiding your feet, strengthening your heart, and renewing your hope. Remember, no weapon forged against you will succeed. That's a direct promise from God to those who trust in Him. This doesn't mean that there won't be any battles, but rather that none of them will be able to defeat you. Every battle is an opportunity to grow, mature, and strengthen your faith. Trust that God is in control and faithful to fulfill all His promises. In the coming days, God may show you something beyond the circumstances. He may reveal areas of your heart that need to be healed, fears that need to be surrendered, or attitudes that need to be changed. Don't resist this process. Allow Him to do all the work in you. Sometimes it's necessary to let go of what no longer serves in order for the new to emerge. And what God has prepared is infinitely better than anything you can imagine. Stay alert. There are signs all around you, in nature, in the words of those who love you, in the small daily events that seem random but are actually the hand of God. He is speaking to you. Listen carefully and be ready to act in faith and obedience. If He calls you, respond immediately, for what comes from God always brings peace, even in the midst of the storm. If you have doubts or fears in your heart, confess them to God. He understands your humanity. He knows your limitations and never expects perfection from you. What He wants is your sincere heart, willing to trust Him even when everything around you seems uncertain. He reminds you, "I am the God who works for those who hope in me." Be a protector of your family. There may be someone around you who needs your support right now, a word of encouragement, a gesture of love, or just your presence. Don't underestimate the power of small actions. God has placed you in these people's lives for a reason, and you can be the bridge He uses to bring healing and restoration. Now declare from your heart, "I am more than conqueror in Christ Jesus." These words are not just a comfort, they are a powerful truth. When you declare victory in Christ, you affirm that no situation, no circumstance, and no opposing force has power over you. And know this: What lies ahead is not just a temporary solution, but a milestone in your spiritual journey. God is taking you to a deeper level of faith, trust, and relationship with Him. This process, as challenging as it is a preparation for something much greater. He has plans for peace, not evil, to give you a future of hope. In the moments of greatest doubt, remember this promise. He who began a good work in you is faithful to carry it on to completion. God never leaves anything half done. He is a God of glorious endings, of transformed stories, of restored lives. Now take a deep breath and say, I trust the Lord with all my heart, and I know that He is already at work in my life. Even when you can't see it, God is moving heaven and earth on your behalf. Don't give up, for the best is yet to come. Your steps are being guided by unseen hands, and what seemed like an obstacle will become a stepping stone to something that will change your story forever. Believe, trust, and walk by faith. The God who began the good work in your life is the same God who will lead you to victory. God is working in ways that your eyes cannot yet see, but when the time is right, all will be revealed. What now seems confusing, difficult, or even impossible will be transformed into a testimony of faith, grace, and power. He is the God who does the impossible, the God who turns weeping into dancing, darkness into light, and struggles into victories. And right now He is asking you for one thing: trust. Trust in God isn't based on what you feel or what you see. It is based on the certainty that He never fails. Remember that even in silence, God is at work. Think of how seeds germinate underground, far from human eyes. God's plans are the same. They blossom at the right time, at the moment He has already determined, and bring abundant fruit into your life. You may feel like you're walking in the middle of a desert with no moisture, no strength, no direction. But listen to this. It is in the desert that God causes springs of living water to spring up. He uses the most arid moments to show His glory and to reveal His care. No matter how big your trouble is right now, God is bigger. No matter how lost you feel, He is the way. In the days ahead, take time to seek God's presence. Pray sincerely. Don't worry about perfect words. Just open your heart. Talk to Him as a close friend, as a loving Father. Say what you are feeling, confess your fears and doubts, and ask for wisdom and guidance. He won't reject you. On the contrary, He will welcome you with open arms, ready to strengthen and guide you. In addition to praying, be vigilant. Pay attention to the people around you, to events, to little situations that may seem trivial but carry divine messages. God speaks in many ways, through advice, an unexpected encounter, a verse that touches your soul, or even a silence that fills your heart with peace. Be willing to listen and obey. Also, protect what God has entrusted to you. Your family, your dreams, your home, all these things are precious in God's eyes, and He has chosen you to be their guardian. Perhaps someone close to you is quietly struggling. They may be facing an inner battle, feeling alone or misunderstood. Show that you are there. Show love, patience, and concern. Sometimes a simple gesture of empathy can be the beginning of a transformation. When you feel your strength running out, remember this promise. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. God doesn't want you to be strong all the time. He wants you to depend on Him, because it is in your weakness that His power is manifested. Don't try to carry everything yourself. Surrender your burdens to Him and trust that He is in control of every detail. Affirm your faith by declaring, "The Lord is my strength and my buckler. In Him my heart trusts." These words have power. Not only do they strengthen your soul, but they also open up space for God to work even more deeply in your life. You may not see it now, but God is already moving the pieces of the puzzle in your life. He is opening doors, removing obstacles, bringing in the right people, and driving out the wrong ones. He is aligning everything for the good of those who love Him. Even if the process is difficult, trust that the outcome will be glorious. What seemed like a devastating storm will turn into a shower of blessings. What seemed like a dead end will become a road of new possibilities. What seemed like a time of pain will be a testimony of overcoming and victory. God will never leave you, and His presence will be evident in every step you take. Declare with faith, "I can do all things through Him who strengthens me." Not because you have all the answers, but because you know who is on your side. God is the author of your story, and He has already written an ending full of hope, peace, and victory. Believe, trust, and keep your eyes on Him. In the days ahead, don't let fear or doubt take over your heart. When these feelings try to bring you down, turn to God. Remember His promises, His unchanging love, and His faithfulness. Declare, I am a child of the living God and He cares for me. Know this. What God has for you is far greater than any circumstance you may be facing. He is the God who turns tears into joy, difficulties into learning, and moments of uncertainty into miracles. Stay strong. The best is yet to come. With every step you take in trust, something in the unseen moves in your favor. God works in places you can't reach, preparing situations beyond your comprehension. He is the God who opens paths where there seems to be no way out, who makes rivers flow in the desert, who makes the impossible possible. Perhaps right now you are carrying a burden that seems unbearable. It could be worry about your family, uncertainty about the future, or a pain that only you know. But God is saying to you, give it all to me. He doesn't want you to carry this burden alone. He is ready to relieve you, to give you rest, to exchange the weight of despair for the lightness of peace. What He asks is that you trust Him completely. When the nights seem long and lonely, remember that God never sleeps. He watches over you, guards your entrance and exit, and is at your side even when you can't feel it. He carries you in His arms when your strength runs out and puts His hands around you to protect what is most precious. In the next few days, pray with renewed faith. Take some time in silence, away from distractions, and talk with God. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable before Him. Say what you are feeling, confess your fears, and allow Him to renew your mind and spirit. God doesn't expect perfection, He expects honesty. And it is in the simplicity of a true prayer that the heavens move. In addition to prayer, take concrete steps of faith. Consecrate your home, declare that the place where you live belongs to the Lord and that no opposing power has power there. Pray for each person you live with, asking for protection and wisdom to guide those you love. If there is something that needs to be adjusted, a difficult conversation, a request for forgiveness, a reconciliation, ask God for the courage and wisdom to act. He will guide you every step of the way. Understand that the battles you face are not just physical. There is often a spiritual component that requires vigilance and prayer. It is through your faith that you will be able to protect your home and family. Remember that God has already won for you, and no weapon forged against you will succeed. You may ask yourself, why am I going through this? God has a greater purpose. He sees what you don't see. He knows roads you haven't traveled yet. What seems like pain now is actually preparation. He is molding you, strengthening your faith, expanding your vision. Don't run from the process. Allow God to work on you even if the path is difficult. What He is preparing is far greater than any sacrifice you have to make now. When doubts try to overwhelm you, declare God's word. Affirm with conviction. If God is for us, who can be against us? These words are not just a promise. They are a powerful weapon against fear and uncertainty. God is on your side fighting for you. He has never lost a battle and He won't fail now. What is coming is more than victory. It is a complete transformation. God is not just resolving a situation. He is building something new, something permanent, something that will reflect His glory in your life. And when it is all finished, you will look back and see that every tear, every prayer, and every struggle was part of a perfect plan. Strengthen your faith with daily declarations. Say, I trust in the Lord with all my heart. Write it down in your mind, in your spirit, in your life. These words have the power to change atmospheres, open doors, and bring peace to your heart. And remember, God is preparing not only a solution, but a new season for you and your family. He is aligning situations, opening paths, and placing the right people around you. The key to experiencing this change is trust, even when everything seems uncertain. So don't give up. Don't be paralyzed by fear or doubt. God is with you, guiding your steps, protecting your home, and preparing a future full of hope. He has already written your victory, and the best is yet to come. Stand firm, for the God who began a good work in you is faithful to finish it. The journey may be difficult, but the destination will be glorious. God is in control and you will never be alone. The best is yet to come. Now is the time to take a final step of faith. Everything you've experienced has prepared you for this moment. It doesn't matter what human eyes see or what your feelings say. God is in control and He is working on something great. What He has begun in your life will be completed to perfection, and what seemed like a path of pain will become a testimony of victory. The Lord calls you to trust without reservation. Trust does not mean the absence of doubt, but the decision to place all uncertainties in His hands. Trust in His plans even when they seem difficult to understand. His promise is clear. I am with you every day until the end. He doesn't leave you, He doesn't forsake you, and in the midst of any storm, He is your anchor. In the days to come, take a conscious attitude of gratitude. Even before you see the changes, give thanks. Give thanks for the doors He is opening, for the answers that are already on their way, for the strength He is renewing in you. Gratitude not only strengthens your faith, it is an act that moves God's heart. Declare with faith, I believe God's best is yet to come in my life and in the life of my family. Allow God's peace to take hold of your heart. This peace comes not from circumstances, but from the assurance that He is in control. No matter how fierce the wind or how heavy the rain, God is your shelter. He guards your entrance and exit, He sustains you when you can't go on, and He leads you to still waters. Declare now boldly, no weapon forged against me shall prosper, for the Lord is my protector. These words are not just declarations. They are spiritual shields surrounding your life and home. God is on the front lines of every battle and He never loses. And when things seem difficult, remember, God has already written the end of this story and it ends in victory. It's not the end, it's the beginning of something new and glorious. Stand firm, for God's faithfulness never fails. He is the light in the midst of darkness, the strength in the midst of weakness, and the assurance that the best is yet to come. Trust, walk, and wait in faith. What God has in store for you is greater than any difficulty you face now. He is the God who transforms, restores, and renews. And He says, I am with you. Let this truth be the foundation of your trust and hope. The best is at hand. Don't give up. God is faithful.